Do you have the time to actually sit and watch this whole video? I don't know, but I'm guessing you might not. It's not because you don't want to, of course, but your attention, well, it just gets pulled away. I'm guessing the first thing you glanced at was how long the video is. And then after you saw that little timer in the corner, you made a quick decision. Worth the click or not? You even possibly sped through it a bit. I hope not, or else I'm going to sound too fast. And although it is true I sound too fast, so please be gentle, both to me and to yourselves. You know how everyone is, coming into a room looking for something and getting blank as to what you are looking for. Searching for your glasses, which are already sitting on your head, talking on the phone while it's already at your ear. And asked, where's my phone? Above all, even with films, if they're too long, above 2 hours, then it's basically a 2 or 3 day event. We are here and we are not really here, half conscious, half there. So, who stole your attention and how are you going to get it back? If you're thinking this is just another rant on social media or telephone, then, my God, the problem runs much deeper. Hi, I'm Mashael, and what I'm hoping to offer to you isn't a lecture or a lesson of any sort, but more like a journey, a quest to become the best version of oneself, of me too, I suppose. A quest to, well, open up the place, turn on the lights, and try to see the bigger picture, because we, you and me, are all struggling, shoulder to shoulder, stumbling through the noise, trying to find even the tiniest flicker of consciousness in this immensely distracted world. And why does any of this matter? Because in fact, the quality of the attention is really the quality of life. It means, if we are not paying attention, we continue struggling through that imbalance to our children, becoming muddled models rather than guiding ones. Now think about it for a moment. What focus do we really need to live the life that matters? Johann Hari's stolen focus describes 3 types of focus. Spotlight focus, such as when, at one moment, you are solely engaged into reading or studying. Starlight focus, distant goals, like, I'm studying for good grades. And finally, there is daylight focus. It clears things up so you can think about your goal and change course if necessary. And that's where things get real, you know. It is about pausing and asking oneself, does this path fit me even now? Does my old goal serve me? Or is it time for a change? The broader the light, the more vital it is. However, over time, these lights can slowly begin to fade, very quietly, almost imperceptibly, until we're well and truly engulfed in the darkness of distraction. There was a time when I was small, living with my mum. She always joked with me by saying things like, Michael, you could be put in a closet and still wouldn't stop talking to yourself, and laughed. And I laughed along, but I was very serious about it. When I was a kid, I talked a lot. Deep within myself, I probably listened more than I spoke. I listened to everything, to sounds, whispers, vibrations that no one even noticed. Because I listened so much, I felt so much, and that made me tired, very tired. And I had no way to understand why I would need an entire hour of silence to feel myself again. So sometimes I would explode over nothing, overanalyze things, think carefully, and just feel sad, until I understood that I was finally sensible. Here, people think of sensitivity as a strength, not weakness. It's a big strength, one that often feels like too much. Silence. Pure, awesome silence. I mean, not cars or city noise. That increased, that's hidden noise, that kind of noise that lives inside us. Every notification is a voice. Every ad, every opinion, every image. Even this one screams inside you without even letting you know. Stealing your attention, desire, even your peace. Opening, each time, a fresh window inside of your mind. Then again, then another. Until the memory in your mind is overloaded and you freeze. You crash. You collapse without understanding why. And because you cannot behold what is causing it, you deem yourself as a problem. But the truth? The modern world is not meant for your brain. We were not made to live in all this, surrounded as we are by the current deluge of distractions and always nagging demands for our attention. For the silence, with space, we cry out. We plead for solitude. But where do we find it? How do we get back to ourselves? How do we get back to the place where we can listen rather than just hear? I learned too late that this world doesn't let people just exist. Everything in it runs. People, time, news, tasks, even dreams. All of them rush without pause. And if you don't stop, you melt away. Melt into the crowd and forget who you are. I tried creating my own space, a small space, maybe a corner in a cafe, or a walk amidst trees, or a notebook that I write in, or perhaps a moment of silence late at night. Not luxury, necessity. To hear my voice, to break free from the expectations of others, to simply allow myself to be as I am. Learning to say no when one needs to choose personal comfort over pleasing others, and understanding that peace needs no justification would go a long way in this healing. I learned that deep emotion had nothing to do with being weak, but with having a living soul. That crying was not a symbol of failure, but of being truthful. And whenever I choose to move away from pain, I would not be running. I would rather be going back to me. Dear listeners, this is a good life. I know you will understand a lot. Indeed, the world sometimes erupts to break the confines of your heart. You are most probably silent because nobody really understands, or you smile because you may be tired of explaining the unexplainable. But believe me when I say, there is still a place within you, however dim, that recognizes light. In your heart, there is still a small corner that believes in peace, in love, and that you deserve a quiet moment, a safe place, and a voice more heard than interrupted. Breathe now and tell yourself that returning to yourself is not defeat, but courage. Being honest with yourself is the greatest triumph of them all. And when one day you feel stuck without knowing where you should be going, just remember to pause, to listen, to breathe, to give yourself a moment to be. You are never in isolation. Even if your voice barely makes a sound, it is still important. Be kind to yourself. It is the first and last home.